Hi everyone. Today we discuss about consuming REST API and populating our data on the UI. Okay. What is actually low code you can observe in this session? Let's start. So what we have is today, let's delete the screen which I already created in this module main flow. So I will create a new screen for you. Add screen. Let's name this screen as a welcome screen. So let's give you a title, welcome. So our main agenda is to consume your REST API or populate it on user interface. Actually, how much time it takes? Let's see. So we to consume and keep it on UI, we must need a API. For that, what I would do is let's take a sample API from internet that is nothing but employees. It's a dummy API. Let's see how it works. Okay, this API is working now. Let's integrate this API into Outsystems. There is a REST feature under logic tab which is already given by Outsystems. What we supposed to do is we just need to consume it. Consume, continue, single method we are consuming. So give the employees API. So test it. So it is success. API is giving a response. What we next to do is copy this to a body and finish. What it does is it internally creates a response structure for this particular API call that we can see under structures. If you open, this is a dummy REST API example. Under that, there is a data item and get employees response. Okay, this response holds status and data, response data, and a message. This is the structure we see for a response given by a employees API. Now come back to user interface. So next to create our user interface, let's drag and drop a container. So inside this container, we can see it in a widget tree also. This container is going to hold all the elements which we are going to keep on this UI. So next what we need is a list to display employees. And then when this data need to be loaded on the user interface, when it is ready. So go back to elements, select the screen. Every screen has a life cycle. So let's make it anonymous. With this, what happens is when you run this on browser, okay, to see the output, it will not ask you your username and password. It will consider you as an anonymous user and it will show you the content. Every screen has a screen lifecycle event. So in this, you can select whatever you need for your usage. Now I am going to select it as on initialize, okay, or on ready. So let's give this as a on ready. What I want is on ready. I want to hit the API and get the response and render it on the user interface. So in this case, what I would do is let's create a variable, local variable to hold the response. We already know that there is a get employees response structure is already created. So we create a variable for that structure itself. Employees response. So employees response, and then we can assign that structure. Okay, get employees response. So this variable is of type employee response structure data type. Okay, it holds status, response data, and response message. So now what we do is let's drag and drop API call, and it gives us a response. Take that response into response structure. For this, we already created our employee response local variable. Select this local variable and take the response, employee's response. So now it contains the employee response. Next step is we need to populate this data on the user interface. Let's select welcome screen, and we know that we already created a list. For this, we need to feed the data. For that, we need to provide a data source. What is the data source? If you come this section and expand it, it automatically suggesting you the employee response has the data to feed this. Let's feed this. Now error is gone. It is good, green color. And then we need to populate the data, right? We need a list item. So create a list item. For this list item, what is the information you would like to display? That you can configure it. This is a list item. Widget, go to widget tree, and here is a content. In this content, you can drag and drop a container, and inside container, if you want to display employee name and salary, okay, then you can go here and drag and drop an expression. This is for employee name. So from our employee response data, this gives us a what is the current row. From the current row, pick it up employee name plus, as I said, we need to display the salary also, right? So for that reason, we give you some pipe symbol, salary, and then we again populate employee salary. Okay, now this is good. Now for this action, by default we will give a default action. We are not going to perform any action on that as of this moment. Now let's run this application. So we are first, before we running and seeing the output on the browser, we are just publishing it, and then we will see this outcome on the browser. Let's open this on the browser. If you see this, it is loading the user interface created by us. Good. This loaded all the employees with their salaries. Congratulations. You learned consuming a REST API and how to populate that on the user interface. Let's meet again.